How sweet it is to be alone, to have the house to yourself. I noticed that in my life, when everybody's going to do something together, there's this internal conflict of a deeper part of me knows I need to be alone, and then another part of me that seems to be a little louder most of the time is like, what if you're missing out? Oh, it's going to be a good time to go out with people. Blah, 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 blah. I want attention. I want companionship. I want friendship. I want love. I want all these things. And when we just give into those feelings, we often lose a part of ourselves. It's not until you spend enough alone time that you even learn what it is to have inner sanctity and power and control over your entire life, where you're not pulled by the wants and needs of other people and the feeling of needing to please other people and be led by what the group is doing. And in that space of inner sanctity, you find this knowing of everything being whole, that actually you don't need other people to find peace and joy and excitement and fun. Actually, life can feel a lot more fun when you're alone. Things can slow down. And sometimes when you've been so used to giving yourself away to what the group consensus wants from you, of just falling into being dragged along by what your environment is doing, when you do that for long enough, you kind of lose this knowing of who you are. um, and that trying to find the best way to put this into words. You can become afraid of being alone. You can become afraid of knowing who you are. um, you can become afraid of the thought of being peaceful alone, because some part of you can tell you, if I'm peaceful alone, either what is that going to make other people feel? Am I going to stay alone? Like, all these things, they're very subtle a lot of the times. It's like your subconscious kind of just giving you alerts. But it's all just this. And when you actually resist that feeling of that yearning for company, and just allow yourself to exist in your own being, everything settles into place. It's like a lake where the waters become placid, everything becomes still, and you can see beneath the layers of your life and everything that's been kind of on autopilot running you through your day to day, all the relationship dynamics, your relationship to yourself, your relationship to God, your relationship to life itself. Everything becomes clear and placid because there's not that turbulence of other people's energies, projections, expectations, wants, needs, words, noise, all of the stuff, the chatter, 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 everything being just jostling you around. Once everything subsides, you can understand. And what is life without understanding? What is life without knowing who you are? What is life without feeling peace? What is a life where you are constantly being roped in by everything around you? You become scattered. Like, your energy is just not centered. You're not in unison with your true nature. You kind of just become a amalgamation of the energies and projections of the people around you, and you forget what it is to even exist. And like I said, when you've done that long enough, the thought of just existing in your own presence can seem daunting, but it's not. That's just a story that your being is telling you to make it so that you don't get left behind, even though you don't really ever get left behind. It's literally just a clinging to wanting validation from other people because you are scared to validate yourself. Everything is so simple. Everything is perfectly, perfectly aligned and simple. And all we need to do is just let go into the unknown of being alone. Like right now, when I stop talking, it is so silent in my house. I can hear myself breathe and the internal noises of my body. And there's usually always at least like one person in my house. And like I said, even though there's this part of me that has been craving this autonomy of just being and hearing that silence, like where it's so quiet, you hear that little in your ears, like the static. Um, it's like my soul is like it's like water, it's fresh air for my soul. But the ego is like, trying to be dragged. It wants so badly to be recognized, even though it's an empty pursuit. It's like running on a hamster wheel. um, yeah, everybody in my house just left, and there was such a strong pull to be pulled along with them. I say go with them, but it's not even going with them. It's being pulled along with them. And I just had to feel that rope pulling me in and just kind of sit with the sensation of it pulling me in. And then once they walked out of the door and got in the car and everything was silent, there was this feeling of like being left out. Even though I made the conscious decision to stay alone. It's so crazy how these things work in our brains. And this deeper part of me knows that this is much more enjoyable to just sit with myself. So it's like, what is the dichotomy between my ego and this deeper part of me? It's like one knows, and then one is in a constant state of yearning, just yearning for anything, everything and anything. So if you're in a place where you can't find silence and inner sanctity, then go make your own place. Go find your place. Go out into the woods. Go on a hike. Go for a drive and drive somewhere farther than you would normally drive into a place where you can just sit and hear the silence. Where it is so silent that If you haven't heard silence in a long time, it makes you a little uncomfortable. If you feel that feeling of discomfort in the silence, ooh, what a delicious thing that is. Sit with that discomfort and bathe in it until it shows you who you really are.